I had to learn that everybody is not your friend. Everybody doesn't deserve a seat at your table. Some people are associates. Some people are your lifelong friends. Some people are there for a season, and some people are there to teach you a lesson. So I think it's important that people, as us in general, women in general as well, is to really take inventory of the people in our life and also utilize our discernment and exercise our discernment and why this person is in our lives.
Have you ever had a situation where you were in a friend circle, and then as you start to evolve, you realize that the friends that used to be your friends have changed, or have you changed? For example, your friends in college, you hit it off very well, and then all of a sudden, one of you get married. Then the dynamics start to change. And then you feel, when you had that conversations like you used to have, staying up all night with them, something's just not clicking. That support that you two used to have, or your group used to have, is no longer the same. Why is that? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today with our guest, Gillian Brooks, who is an author, a multifaceted businesswoman, and, as she says, your girl's girl. And we're going to get into it. Welcome, Gillian.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Beautiful set.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, because we were talking before we actually started shooting this episode. Like, okay, so how did we meet? Mm-hmm. Right? We were just trying to figure it out. You're like, I don't know. And then I started thinking, you know why, or how we met was the fact that I'm drawn to people that are just naturally dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. That aren't afraid to speak their truth. Mm-hmm. And they're just multifaceted, mm-hmm. right? And not only do they say the thing, they actually do the thing.
That's right. That's me.
Is that you?
That's me.
I'm telling you. So I gravitated to you, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to check her out. And then we connected on IG, mm-hmm. and I saw that you were doing your podcast, mm-hmm. right? Guided by Jill.
Yes.
And I said, hey, I think we need to collaborate.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we're here.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you.
I love your platform.
Oh, thank you.
I love your platform.
Thank you so much.
It's clean, it's professional. I love it. So I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're going to get into it.
Let's get into it.
So we're going to be talking about friendships.
Gulp.
Yeah. When to change your circle. So I shared of a situation where we see a lot of times mm-hmm. that the evolution of friendships.
Right.
So let's just get right into it. Like, let's share a scenario where you may have felt like you were hurt, or how you decided how you had to navigate through that. Mm-hmm. Let's just get right into it.
So in regards, I think friendships for me is a touchy subject, because mm-hmm. I feel like I take accountability for my actions. So I feel like as I'm growing and as I'm going into my journey, people have fallen to the wayside in regards to friendships. But I'm not going to pinpoint like any particular situation, because my friend circle is very small.
Yeah.
So if I do speak on something, they're going to know probably who I'm talking about, right? So
for all the other women, we won't know.
Right. But so there has been times like I'm 38. I'll be 39 next month. So I'm up there. I'm
Child,
get to that 40.
You are not up there.
I've had some life experiences though.
I'm sure.
And I will say that one thing I've learned is that one thing that's super important as you are getting older or as you're in your journey is to always have discernment about the people around you. Mm-hmm. So, of course, like you said, there's people that we become friends just because the energy is right, or we met somewhere and we just hit it off. And sometimes I don't think subconsciously that we take inventory on that person and why they're in our lives. And so this is something that I'm learning to do as I've gotten older, is that when I meet people, I had to learn that everybody is not your friend. Everybody doesn't deserve a seat at your table. Some people are associates. Some people are your lifelong friends. Some people are there for a season, and some people are there to teach you a lesson. So I think it's important that people, as us in general, women in general as well, is to really take inventory of the people in our life, and also utilize our discernment and exercise our discernment and why this person is in our lives.
Dirty Dog Hauling, thank you so much for your sponsorship. If you're looking for a junk removal company, they are the go-to company. Whether you have a small job or a large job, and even excavation, you want to check them out. They are reasonable and also timely and effective. Dirty Dog Hauling. Now back to the show. You think all women have discernment?
I think it's in all of us. I think just like any tool or any, just like anything that you do, you should exercise that tool or utilize that tool of discernment. And I don't think a lot of us even maybe don't know that we have it, or we don't know how to utilize it.
That's a fair point. Yeah, because I think, okay, so just talking about discernment in itself, I do believe that you have the ability to discern. And I think this is what I found to be true. Some people are gifted to have a higher sense of discernment.
Absolutely.
And so you may hear people say, I'm an empath, they can feel things, right? I also think you can train yourself to be that way just through meditation. The more you meditate, just really look inside of yourself, I truly believe that, through that experience of that time,
right,
you start to feel.
You start to feel it. And you exercise it, right? Or the stronger that your relationship becomes with your higher power, you start to learn to go to him first, right? Before you act on your raw emotion. Because our raw emotion, yes, you can be an empath, you can be all of these things, a people person, you could be all of these things. But if you're not protecting yourself first, and that's to go to your higher power and say, why am I having this experience? Why is this person in my life? Why? Right? Yeah. Or are they allowed to be here? Then you will experience these situations where you where you become hurt, you feel used, you feel abandoned, all of those things. Because I have learned as I've gotten older that sometimes people are not in control of what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
They may be sent from other things, right, to come on missions, right? And again, with the raw emotion and us just like wanting love, wanting to fill a void, we allow people in situations into our bubble, and they can ultimately destroy us, teach us a lesson, or help us grow. And so I will say that, of course, I've had situations in my life where I was hurt. Of course, I've been in these wacky, petty things with females. Who hasn't? We're women. This is our natural.
Fair.
That's who we are naturally. But to say and pinpoint exactly like that, this person hurt me, I take accountability for that because I allowed that person into my life, and it was a lesson for me. And hopefully, they walked away with a lesson as well. Yeah, so that kind of sums that up for me. I don't like to pinpoint and say, oh, this person hurt me or this person. Of course, we've been hurt,
Right. So as you evolved from, high school, to college, then becoming a mom, like, have you seen how your relationships evolved? And
right.
how did you learn that, okay, the people that are in my life today, right, are here for just that season versus the ones that are here for a lifetime?
Right. So I want to reiterate, I want to go back on something. I actually went to high school, became a mom, went to college.
Okay.
Yes. So I was a teen. I had my son when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
So I did not go to college right after high school. I was a mom right away. I didn't go back to college until I was like 27.
Okay.
After I had my second child. So I have friends from high school. I still have friends from high school.
That's awesome.
I just was on the phone with my best friend. Like, we talk for hours throughout the day. We've been friends since we were 15 years old. She's still my friend. And I have other friends as well from high school. So those people have been through it with me. And I think just, that's such a gift from God, because it's like, it's like a family member, right? Somebody that you're gifted, like your mom or your dad, whether the situation, whether that relationship be positive or negative experience, but to be gifted a friend like that has been with you through every phase of your life. And we joke all the time because I'm like, I can't believe like you're this big IT developer. Like, we went to school together. We drank Mad Dog 2020 together. Like, I can't believe like you're this serious person. And her the same with me. She's just like, you're so fake. You're on the phone with those people. You're being fake, because this is just like, we've known each other since we were kids.
Sure.
So love that relationship. Yes, I have friends ever since we've been in high school. And then I have a group of friends now who have taught me the meaning of family. I have a very small family. I come from a single parent home. My mother raised me by herself, a single mother. My father was incarcerated for the first 7 years of my life. And then after that, he went off and, my mom raised me by herself. Very small family, but my friend group that I have now, they taught me about like sisterhood. They taught me how to travel, because I used to travel a little bit, but when I met them, we did traveling on a whole nother level. And it's now like they're like my family. And we, they invite me to things in their family that are very intimate and private. And I get to experience and learn those lessons of what like larger families look like, because I didn't have that. So yes, in that journey, it's just like, you have people and things in between that happen. But, I'm very optimistic. I'm a very optimistic person.
Same.
Like, I try to look at the good in everything. I will be petty, though. I'll have my moments of petty and be like, I remember that, or I see somebody. I mean, God is working on me. He's working on me. He's working on me. So I'm not going to say that. I won't say that I don't have that pettiness in me, because I do. But I'm very optimistic, and I do value where I'm at right now and the relationships in my life right now.
Good. So share a time when you knew that you had to separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how did that feel?
So there was a time in my life when, like I was telling you before, like how raw can we get? I lived a wild life. So I'm from uptown Harrisburg, and I've done some things that I'm not proud of. So there was a time in my life that I lived a life of crime. And during that time, I had a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
A lot of people around me that, we did some things, We did some things. And you think that these people are your friends, and you think they're going to be around forever, and you think they're your ride or die, and they got your back, and that's not always the case. And I had somebody at the time who was also in the street, and he sat me down and he said, Gillian, he said, you are such a beautiful girl. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Thank you. Mm-hmm. He said, you're beautiful. You can go to school. You can get your degree. Why are you doing the things that you're doing, and the people around you, if you get in trouble or when you get in trouble, because it's only a matter of time.
Not if, when.
When. These people are not going to be there for you, and they're not going to be here for your son. And it really he changed my life. He changed my life, and he's no longer here. He has passed away because of the life that he chose to live. And
so he stayed in it, but said, hey, you need to get out.
He had a real conversation with me. Yeah, he had a real conversation with me, and I'll never forget him. And it made me then, when they say when you keep knocking, when God says keep knocking and he'll open those doors for you, things started to happen around me where one by one people started to drop off in situations, because God was elevating me. He was putting me in a place, where I would succeed and I would excel. And so people that really, really know me, they know this side of me. And a lot of people that are new don't know this about me. But anybody that knows me, if they're watching, they're like, oh yeah, she's telling the truth. Like, you know what she's talking about. And so, I had to let go of a lot of relationships during that time. And I love these people. We had fun. We had a good time, and we did it all. But it just was not conducive to the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And I thought about my son at the time, and like, if something was to happen to me, who would take care of my child? And I didn't want to leave that burden on my mother, because my sister had already passed away and she left 5 kids. And my mom was helping with those, her 5 children. And then here I am being wild and free and doing these things. And then to leave my son, I knew that was not an option for me. So
for you,
here we are.
Changing your circle saved your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if I would have continued on that path with the friends, with the men that I was dealing with, I would have been in prison, or dead, honestly, if I would have continued the path that I was on.
So was it the conversation that you had with him, or did your family attribute to you wanting to change your circle to live a better life?
Not my family so much, because I was the means of survival for my family. So I think my family knew that wasn't the best thing for me to do, but when you're from these environments or these places, this is all people know. This is all they know. They don't know anything different. I'm a first gen college student. So your family's not saying, oh, stop and go to college. We can't afford college. We can't pay for college. And so I don't know. I'm grateful that person saw that in me to have that conversation with me. Because nobody else was going to have that conversation with me. And then my poor mom, she didn't even know what I was doing. She had no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you are probably if you had to put a face to, you don't look like what you've been through.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I need to share with the people that are watching. I had no idea we were going to be having this conversation. It's about changing your friendship. All I know is I wanted to talk about like changing how do you know when it's the right time to change your friend circle?
Yeah, but this is going to touch somebody, like you said.
It is going to touch somebody.
I had to take 2 seconds to thank Allstate Insurance for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking for car, life, or casualty insurance, they're going to be your ultimate insurance company. Thank you, Rob Shaw with Allstate Insurance. Now, back to the show.
Like, what did it take to get out of that situation? You know what I mean? To change that circle. And
just God.
Did you ever feel like you needed to go back?
Just God. I think just having faith in my higher power and removing myself out of environments. It wasn't like, you see these things on TV and they're like, oh, if you leave, this is what's going to happen. It wasn't anything like that, honestly. It's just like, hey, I'm not participating in these things anymore.
Right.
And then,
it wasn't like you see on TV.
No.
Right. Because that's all I can relate it to.
No. No. I think a lot of people from my neighborhood probably has lived this. Now, we won't get into detail, but it's nothing crazy. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just, you're doing things you shouldn't do. But I was around people that this was acceptable. And so just, I remember giving back everything that I owned, and got from that lifestyle. And I started completely over, moved back in with my mom, lived in her basement, and started a new job. And I remember I was walking at one point with my son, and people were like, why is she walking? And why is she taking the bus? And I completely just said, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with any of these prior dealings. I'm just going to go and really get my life together. I went back to school. I got a job, which ended up being my career for the last 18 years. So I worked in healthcare for the last 18 years. My son is 19.
That's awesome.
So I worked in HIV and infectious disease, and I started as an outreach worker. I used to pass out condoms outside, and then it went to me becoming a case manager. And then I said, I really, really like healthcare, and I really, really like infectious disease. And so it started my career into working in infectious disease with hepatitis C. I ended up going back to school and minoring in epidemiology.
Wow.
And it was just my life. Like, everybody knew I was the HIV lady. Like, everybody, like, really? So, like, if you needed to get tested for STDs or HIV, I worked at the clinic, or I worked as a case manager, helped people get housing. And so it really, like, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, was to, like, really pull myself up by the bootstraps and change my life for the better. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, I was first gen college student, and then my son is now enrolled in college. So he's going to school in the healthcare field. Yeah.
You're grieving the growth.
I'm not, he's already been home twice this week. So, but yeah, so, it just took me to take the steps to make those changes. Mm-hmm. And, my husband says this all the time. He says this, my husband has a similar background as me. And he has changed his life tremendously.
Awesome.
Tremendously. He has, just the time that we've been together, he has done a 180. He is just, it's been beautiful to watch, because I remember going through it, and then to see him do it, and he's like, babe, you got the blueprint. Like, he says it's easy. All people have to do is just, it's easy. He says it all the time. It's easy out here. It's easy out here.
Right.
And it's like, but again, where we're from, people don't have these opportunities. And then to segue into the work that I do now is create educational and career opportunities for individuals in underserved areas. So, the college applications and the, the navigating the resources and if I get a no here, you can go here and get a yes, and so it really contributed back to, everything. But changing your circle, right? And changing the people around you, people who have a bigger, they have more. I love people that have more than me. I'm not no hater. I love to be around women who have more than me because it makes my vision for life larger.
Right.
It makes me want more. If Erica did it, I can do it too.
Right.
That's the representation. The representation is important. The mentorship is important. And so, removing, not to say that these people were bad. It's not, I'll take accountability for my actions.
It just wasn't the lifestyle that was best suited for you.
Right.
That wasn't your purpose.
That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
No.
So then to the person that's you, when you were, in the streets, what do you say to that person that wants to get out?
Right.
Change. It's scary.
It is scary.
You're going from, okay, I'm living this fast life.
Right, a fast life or a fun life. What do I say is this, like, if it's something that you want, just do it. Just make that change. There's steps, of course. There's a process. There's a blueprint, of course. But you have to want to change first because, if you don't want to change, then nothing's going to change. But if you want to change, all you have to do is take that first step, And I see it with the students I work with all the time. The college that I work for has a reentry program now for folks who are criminally justice involved individuals to help them either if they've just come home from prison or if they're on their way to prison. There's so many programs they even have programs for people which they identify as shooters, right? So children who live a life of crime, and if that is what you are doing or have doing, no judgment, we're going to pay for you to go to school so you can get an education.
Yeah.
These resources are so important for folks, and taking that one step, right, to say, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to get a job, or I don't want to do this no more, I want to go to school. When you step into that classroom, you're around a whole different type of people.
Right.
You're around your
professor. That's intimidating to some people, though.
Right. You got to think. You got to want more for yourself. I understand it's intimidating, but I've never been a fearful person. And my book is called "Crush Your Fear of Flying."
There you go.
So plug that in there. Crush your fear of flying. So I've never been afraid of anything, and that was my gift and my curse. But fear is an illusion. It's just an illusion. What are you afraid of? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to go in here and somebody says hello to you. You're going to go in here and you're going to actually get an A in your class and you're actually going to succeed. So my aunt bought me the Nelson Mandela, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, is that we're more powerful beyond measure. And I think that is the part that people have to realize. You're afraid of winning. You're afraid of you're actually afraid that you're actually going to win, not that you're going to lose. Because if you lose, like, who's going to really see you?
Right.
But if you win, now you're held to a standard now.
There you go.
You have to keep winning. So you're afraid, you're afraid to win.
Right.
So that's just the way that I look at it. Like, get in there and get it done.
So, okay. So I hear what you're saying, right?
Right.
And it's easy. You're making it sound like it was really easy to change your life and to get out of that circle and to build up to what you have today, right? Author, multifaceted businesswoman, just doing the darn thing. But there's some people that just don't have, I guess, the strength, right, or the ability to change.
It's mental. It's a mental thing.
I had to take 2 seconds to interrupt this episode. I would like to thank one of our most recent guests, Attorney Jenny Chavis, for sponsoring this show. Chavis Law Firm is an elite law firm in Central Pennsylvania that helps with estate planning as well as understanding what type of business entity you should enter into when starting your business. If you're looking for a great attorney that understands estate planning as well as business entity, how to start the right way, you want to check out Attorney Chavis, Chavis Law Firm. Now, back to the show.
So go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's a mental thing. So,
I mean, but if there's resources there, I mean, like, we have to utilize our resources, our toolkits though, right? So those things could be if I think about it on a medical level or medical field or the medical insurance field, if you are having trauma or if you suffer from trauma or abuse, you have insurance and you utilize the insurance to see a therapist.
Right.
So you go see a therapist and you start to work through things, and the therapist is going to give you tools that you put in your toolkit that are going to help you succeed. Once you start to see your therapist, and then maybe if you do have some mental health issues, then you can get medication. These are all tools that go back into your toolkit, right? If you need a car or if you're having transportation issues, if you go see somebody, whether it be at a community resource, organization, or you go to either your healthcare provider and they help you get help you get transportation, that's one more tool that you put in your toolkit. So, I mean, if you don't, I'm not sure what you're asking. Like, I'm not sure. You have to utilize the tools.
Right. So how does someone that doesn't know about those resources get them? Because there are situations where I've seen where, someone wants to change their life, right? And they may feel as though they don't have the ability to because they don't have those resources. Mm-hmm. That's what I was at the question.
So where do you start? Like the first step?
Where do I start, Jillian? Like, where do I start? Right. Yeah.
So that thing that everybody's on all day long. They're on this thing all day and they spend hours upon hours.
Right.
That you can make millions of dollars off of that. So if it starts with Googling, we can sit online all day. We can find out what's going on with Ray and Sally over here.
You're saying no. Do not make any excuses.
There's no excuse
for you to
don't make excuses. And I know that everybody is in a different space, but this is just how I was raised. And I know it comes across sometimes because people say, well, why did you say that? I mean, this is the way I was raised, and I'm not saying that it was the right way to be raised, but it worked for me.
Sure.
Because I learned how to navigate. And I found that people are so interesting. They can navigate everything else.
Right.
Except what's best for them. We can figure out everything. I have friends that could tell you all your business probably. They could tell you everything that's going on with Erica. But when you say, well, how do you do? Well, you have some skeletons in your closet you got to clean out, So I think if we redirect our energy and put that same energy that we put into everything else and everybody else, we can solve everybody else's problems and kind of internalize and kind of look at what are the steps that I need to take, I think people will be able to navigate and get a mentor. I know everybody doesn't have money for mentors,
right?
But, if you go to your doctor's office, your doctor can refer you to a behavioral health specialist that they have free services. That's somebody you can talk to and maybe get some resources from, or your teacher, or, so we have to just utilize those tools. I mean, the tools are there. Start with Google.
Right.
Start with Google.
So as you grew into womanhood, into adulthood, have you found that, sound like you've been blessed enough to keep some of your same friends.
Absolutely.
Did you find it hard to get into new circles? Never mind. We're talking to Gillian. She just...
No, it is. I have challenges there. We can talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about those.
So it's challenges for new circles.
She's like, just go out there and do it. Crush that fear.
I will. I think that the challenges where I'm at now is that I am yearning for new connections, right? Business connections, mentorship. And I haven't been able to, it hasn't come to me yet. So I pray, I do my due diligence. I might reach out to 3 or 4 people.
I might come through this episode. Like, what you looking for? What you looking for?
Right. I've tried to look for mentorship and it hasn't come to me yet. And I pray about it all the time. I pray about it all the time. I'm like, God, I want a mentor, but I don't want this. And I'm very direct in my prayers, and I'm very precise in my prayers. I don't want this and I don't want that, and I want it to be this and I need it to be this, and then the back end what I need, right? And so it hasn't come to me yet. But like I said, I yearn to be around women who have more, because it inspires me. It inspires me. So I would say that that's a challenge, or maybe it just hasn't happened yet.
Do you think it's hard to find good mentors?
Yes, I do. I do. And I will say that because I feel like a lot of people, in my experience, they come in with their baggage.
Well, don't we all have baggage though, Gillian?
We do. You're nice.
You know what? Yeah. It's funny that you said that because I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm too nice.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm too nice.
I will say, though, if I was in a role to be a mentor, in which I am, I have people to come to me all the time. Right now, I am not taking anybody to mentor or coach right now. My books are not open because I have to work with the things that I need to work on my baggage.
Yeah.
Things that I may have picked up in the last 2 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. So there was a time that I was coaching. That's one of my businesses. I do business coaching, do life coaching. But right now I'm not taking any clients because I'm taking the time to fill my cup. I'm going to therapy. I'm working on my foundation of my family, this is my second marriage. Working on building my marriage, a strong foundation. My children are in different spaces.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stretch myself thin to say just to keep my business, on the forefront right at this moment, because my kids' sanity and my husband's sanity is more important to me at this point in my life than mentoring. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you can take what you can kind of. No,
this is great because I think it has a lot to do with what you said, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have the capacity to bring on and help somebody else, right? To be a mentor. I'd like to ask you, is that the same thing as friendships too? But to finish my thought, because you're pouring into your husband, into your children, and into your profession. So you know that, hey, for me, my bandwidth is I'm at my capacity.
Yeah.
So I think that's to be commended because I think a lot of times we try to put on way too many hats and we're not able to give ourselves the oxygen we need in order to be effective for the people that our loved ones need as well. So what about friendships right now? Because I think as adults, it's hard for us to navigate that and to actually allow other people in. And then if I want to get really granular, it's really hard for women.
Right.
Really hard for women. So how do you navigate that?
I am, like I said, in a space where, pouring into everything else and in my family, and pouring into my family structure. So I do tell my friends, I send a text message out to my friends, like at the beginning of the semester, because now I'm in school to get my master's now. This is my second time around because the first time didn't go well. So I told them, I said, hey, my friends do a lot. They travel, they brunch, they going bowling, they doing everything. So I said, hey, I'm getting ready to lock into my master's program. I'm not going to be answering text messages. I'm not going to be available to do all of these things. I'm trying to save up for a house. We want to relocate. I'm kind of on pause right now, but I love y'all and I'm here if you need me. Yeah. I cook for everybody, my friends and my family. And if you need me to cook something, I'm here. But, other than that, it's closed. So I think it's really important. I say all that to say, I think it's really important that as adults and as women, if we're clear on why we're maybe not communicating as much, or we're not answering the phone as much, or we're not hanging out as much, is because there's other areas of our life that we really need to pour into right now. That doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean I love you less, or that I don't want to be your friend, or I don't want to hang out. But there's just other things that really, really need my attention right now. And I can't be pouring into this relationship and my kids need me, or I can't be spending more time out of the house and my husband feels like he needs me, and there is a balance in it, but I am not at the place where I can balance it all. And I'm woman enough to say that.
No, you're balancing it. Yeah. You're just saying, hey, guess what? My family is all the things that I have available to balance.
That's all I have right now.
Yeah. And friends, I'm here for you.
I think communication, that open communication is important, because when you don't have that, or someone's afraid to be assertive to say what I said, then there's like, well, why is she acting funny? Or she answering my phone calls? And because I was afraid to say that my family comes first. I had to draw the line in the sand and say, we're not friends, because I keep asking you what's wrong. I keep reaching out. Now this has become, one thing about me, I don't chase men, I don't chase money, and I don't chase friends. Okay.
I
I attract everything. Everything great comes to me. Everything that I'm meant to have, I wake up to in the morning. I don't chase anything. So if I start to feel like I'm chasing you or I'm repetitive in what I have children to tend to.
Yeah.
I have business to attend to.
Well, hold on, Gillian. What about you're not chasing them, but what about, you're a multifaceted woman. You have a lot of things on your plate, right? So you're just busy, right? And their intention is not to not respond, is not having the opportunity. But saying it out loud, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm giving you something, hello, you can take 2 seconds out of your day.
2 seconds out of your day
to respond. So it's like
that's the same thing if you're in a relationship with a man, right?
Yeah.
And we're kicking it, we're cool, we're this, that, and you don't have 2 seconds to say, hey, honey, I'm really, really busy today.
That's fair.
It's nothing against you. You're beautiful. I love you.
Right.
You need $200. Here it is. Have a good day.
Yeah. Well, then I would just keep it real. To my friends that I have not text after you text, I do apologize. I do love y'all. And I'll text you after this episode.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't even think about it that way. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Just like take 2 seconds or, I understand everybody's busy, but I'm busy too.
Fair.
And my friend, and like I said, my friend I was talking to, we talked for hours on the phone, and she knows if she doesn't hear, you know what I mean? You take the time. So I had time today because I was off today. So I want to sit on the phone with my friend because she's not as busy. She might not be as busy as I am. But I want to give you this time today. I'm intentional in the time that I do make for the people I love. You get what I mean? Or my friendships, or, I'm intentional about that. Okay, it's Monday. Call your mama. You didn't talk to your mom,
Yeah.
So if I keep reaching out and I've texted you 5-6 times or called you and I don't get a response, then, and it's months of this, then I have to draw the line in the sand and say, you know what, I love you, but I'm going to have to.
Because you almost feel as though you're being taken advantage of.
Oh, you're taking me for a ride.
Yeah. I don't care. You don't care as much as I care about you.
Or something is there. And not even that, something's wrong.
And, something's wrong, but you're not able to share.
You're not able to communicate it.
Yeah.
Blink twice if you're in trouble. Something.
Right.
Yeah. Something.
Okay. Yeah. That's, you know what? Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Because we're keeping it real.
We're keeping it real. We're taking accountability.
We are taking accountability. I did not know I was going to be in session today, so stop it. Stop it. So what about the friends or the people? We'll just make it in general. You see those friendships that are toxic, and yet they just remain as friends. We all know it's time for them to just
stop it.
Just to stop. What do you say? Have you experienced that? What would you say to those people?
Well, what my husband would say, because he is my shout out to
He's your accountability partner.
He is just the best. I did not know boundaries before I met him. I thought that I was supposed to, because that comes from trauma, that comes from that void in childhood, those voids in childhood, right, of wanting to be everything to everybody and wanting to be accepted. And I thought I had to make myself available to everybody because if I didn't, I would be a bad person. And he tells me, so what? Who cares?
Hey, I need to take 2 seconds to interrupt this wonderful show that you're watching. I run a real estate business, and the way we fund this podcast is through that business, the Erica Rawls team. I would love it if you would just give us one opportunity to service your real estate needs, whether you are in Central PA or around the entire world. Think of us first so we can help you. Now back to the show.
If you have to protect your peace, Gillian, you have to set boundaries. If you don't like the way you feel when you leave this person or this environment or this encounter, then that is not for you. You don't have to deal with that. And so he taught me
have it. They
just got it naturally.
Yes.
And he's a Gemini, so that's even. Men do have it. They are just unbothered.
They are.
That's the one part of being. I wish sometimes that I could have that.
Yeah.
That men have is the unbotheredness.
Yeah.
But he taught me boundaries, and so I don't remember the question exactly.
So toxicity in a friendship. Like, how do you let that go?
Right.
Like
you don't owe this person anything. This person may have been there for you, like when somebody in your family may have passed away, or maybe they loaned you money or something like that. But if you don't like the way the relationship is going, or just like if it's an intimate relationship, let's have a conversation. And if the behaviors continue, then I have to remove myself from the situation, you know? And I'm grateful for that, learning that those boundaries and learning to be assertive when it comes to my piece. Because I could be assertive about everything else, business and this and that, work. I could do that easily. But when it came to my personal boundaries and what I allow people to do to me, do those things to me, it was just open, you know, open house. It was just free for all. And so I'm going to have a conversation with you if I feel at this point in my life, if I feel as though you continue to still exert those behaviors, then there's nothing for us to, you know, we're going to have to go our separate ways. But when I see people that are in those vicious cycles, they just don't have boundaries, just lack setting those boundaries for themselves. And like I said, intimate relationships, friendships, work relationships with their children. You see people's kids run all over them too. And
that is true. Yeah.
It's okay to have boundaries.
It is okay to have boundaries. So you look like someone that has a bright light, right? Your light is shining bright.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So how do you navigate?
Right. The moths coming to the light.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
She said the moths.
The moths.
Yes.
Yeah. And my good friend Asia said that to me. She said, you're a bright light and bright lights attract moths too. And so again, back to that discernment piece. And I think I was at one point, even, you know, if everybody wanted to be my friend, it could be my friend. If a man wanted to talk to me, he could talk to me too. Everybody could come, you know, it's enough for Jill to go around, you know, but I learned that bright lights also attract moths. Right. And you have to look at a person's intentions. And if you want to be my friend, really, really, really bad. Why do you want to be my friend really, really, really bad? Like, do you think that I'm going to help you? Do you want me to mentor you? Do you think you're going to get something free?
Right.
Do you think just being around me is going to, you know, open up doors for you? I have to take inventory on that when people come around now. Before it was like a free for all, and I got burnt every time. And so if I meet you and you're coming on as my assistant for my job, for a business,
yes,
you have to stay as my assistant in business.
Wow.
Yeah. We it's going to take time for us to build that relationship. Whereas before it was, again, sure, that's my girl, that's my friend. Yeah.
Right.
But then things happen. People come with their baggage. They come with their ill intentions, right? And they come in and they get what they need and they do the things and keep, you know, get things going, and then they go right out the door. And there was no repercussion, there was no vetting, there was none of that,
right, for
them to come into your life. And this is again, intimate relationships, friendships.
So do you have not anxiety, lack of a better word, do you get
anxious,
timid, or anxious when it comes to, okay, yeah, I'm allowing someone else to come into my life because of things that happened in the past? So how are you working through that?
Therapy.
Okay.
Therapy helps. Again, I'm also grateful for the people that I have in my life now, because not only are they're eyes for me too.
Right. So your circle.
Accountability. My circle is their eye. I don't know the correct word how I can say it, but like their eyes, they see things that maybe I don't see. Because I'm open, I'm friendly, I like to be, you know. And then I have to like, okay, Jill, all right, calm down, calm down. But then my friends will say, or close family member, or husband,
right,
no,
right,
let's stop there. You know, so there is some anxious, you know, I am anxious sometimes when people new come around. But that's why I say these next connections that I do have, I'm praying that God brings these connections to me and that I'm able to see with my own eyes that these people are for me or I'm supposed to be in this space. Yeah.
Yeah, I applaud you being open to having this conversation.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we could just keep going on.
Yeah, we could.
Continue to talk about it. So I would love to invite the audience. What are some things that you are afraid of when it comes to, you know, growing your circle
or letting go of loved ones, your friends, even sometimes family members that just don't serve you well. Like, how do you work through that? Because that's something I think we all struggle with. And again, as women, I think we see it more often. Like the fear of disappointing outweighs our
self-preservation.
Yes, preserving ourself and our mental well-being is something that we definitely need to visit at some point. This was a great conversation, y'all. The importance of friendships, recognizing when to change your circle, and then just building a supportive circle around you. Gillian.
Erica,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
Thank you for the platform to keep it real.
You're welcome.
I think we did that today.
We did do that. You did that.
Yes.